G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, you have really seemed to like my ranking videos. So today I am going to be ranking NRL 5/8. Now I was using somebody else's tier list and I don't know, it just seemed so untidy. There was players there in my opinion that shouldn't have been. And there was players that I think missed out. So I've put together my list. Obviously there's subject to change with some of these players, and I'll go over that in a second. I'll run through every player that I've gone with, and the players that might miss out. So basically, what I'm going to do is I've got 1 through to 4, 5 to 8, 9 to 11, 12 to 14, 15 to 17. I'm pretty much just going to chuck it all on there. We're going to go worst to best, obviously, but yeah, I'm look. This is a journey, all right. It's a journey. We're not going to go there straight away. I might change up my picks after I've put everybody on the list. I might change them. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to look at the end. It could be different to how I think it's going to look now, but we will soon find out. But without further ado, let's jump in and see how I go. Now, obviously, some of you guys will probably disagree with some of these picks, and that is absolutely fine. You're all entitled to your opinion. Now, this isn't based off career. This is based off how their 2022 season went and how I think it's sort of like a power ranking, how I think they'll go to start off the 2023 season. Basically, how they finish the 2022 season is how I am going to rank them for the 2023 season. So without further ado, let's jump in and start with number 17. Well, actually, let's go through and talk my reasoning behind some of these selections. So first off, Ezra Mam, I think he'll get the nod for the 5/8 spot. Jack White and Matt Burton, Matt Moylan, all speak for themselves. They obviously deserve their 5/8 spot. Milf, I think he will get it. However, Sean O'Sullivan and Isaiah Katoa might work really well together, and that could be the halves pairing. I don't know, but I'm going to assume Milf will start the season there. I've gone with Jaden Sullivan. I've gone with old Bud there because I don't think we will see Amone for a while. So I have gone with Bud. I've gone with Foz, obviously for the Titans. They've pretty much just said he will play 5/8 and Tanner Boyd halfback, so I have gone with him. Schuster, I think, is pretty obvious. Manly see a lot of potential in him, and I think he will be there 5/8 at least for the start of the season. Munster is for sure going to be the 5/8. Ponga definitely locked in at the moment. I know there could be a few rounds in that they change him up, but he will definitely be locked in for now. Next up, we've got Tommy Dearden, obvious pick there. I've gone to Mare Martin from the Warriors. That could change. I don't know who they're going to select there, but I have heard that Tamare will be the 5/8. That could change though, so I don't know for certain. Dylan Brown, obvious. Cody Walker, obvious. Jerome Luai, obvious. And basically everybody else is obvious. All right, let's start this. So number 17, I'm going Jaden Sullivan. We haven't seen enough of him for me to rank him higher. I think 17th is pretty fair in my opinion for Jaden. Next up, Ezra Mam. Definitely think he could be an outstanding player in 2023. But again, while he had good stints in 2022, I don't think I can rank him higher, but he may get ranked higher. We'll see come the end of the video. Tamare Martin is going to be my next selection. Again, a player that can turn it up and play very well, but the 5/8 spot for the Warriors, I think, may struggle a little bit, so I do have him a bit lower. Schuster is my number 14. Manly, I think he's really going to have a big year for them and absolutely kill it. Next up, this is where it gets tough, man, because all these players are quality. I'd probably go on Milf above Schuster, and the reasoning by that is Milford has been a successful 5/8. He's also done a bit at halfback as well, but he has been a successful 5'8". We haven't seen that from pretty much any of these other players. Like Ezra Mem had a good rookie season, yes. But actually, you know what? I'm going to put Ezra just above Tomato Martin, just based off how good Ezra was last year. So I am going to give him a little bit of love there. But look, I can't put him above any of these players or even these ones, to be honest. All right, next up, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm actually going to put Matt Moylan there. I know Matty is a good player. He's pretty up there when it comes to 5'8s. But look, I just think the 5'8 competition is just so tight at the moment. Moylan is a gun player, but I do think that the majority of these players are better than him. I honestly do. Um, 2022 was a good year for Moylan as well, but I think it was just as good for most of these players. Here, I guess you could put Foran behind Moylan. It's completely up to you, but I personally think that everybody else on this list. Oh, actually, yeah, I think everybody else on this list is above Moylan. I know I might get a bit of flack from that, but I really do. So Foran for me, number 11. Um, very, very good 5'8" halfback. He's played both positions. He's filled in as a utility before. He's done a lot. He's worked his ass off in his career. And if this was based on career alone, I'd have him higher. But yeah, he's 11th for me. In 10th, I've got Adam Dewey. And this is where I think a lot of people are going to go, mate, that's the wrong pick. Moylan's much better than Dewey and Foran. I disagree. I think Adam Dewey is actually a gun 5'8", and the Tigers would be stupid if they're not going to play him there next season. I think that'd be absolutely crazy to not play him there. I think he's amazing, and I definitely think he deserves some props for how well he had a good season in 2022. He played very well for Lebanon as well. So, I think he definitely deserves to be on this list in the top 10. All right, we've got 9 players left. This is where it gets a bit tricky. Quite tricky, to be honest. Now, I'm going Kalen Ponga at number 9. Again, look, he probably should be lower, personally. And you guys are probably going to say, why should he be lower? Well, personally, look, I think he should be lower because we haven't seen him play 5'8". Now, I think he can be quite capable at 5'8", so I have got him higher because he is an absolute weapon of a player, and I don't really think it matters where you put him. He's still going to be a gun player, but I can't have him higher than 9th, but I also don't want to rank him lower than 9th. All right, next up. I'm going Kiri. I'm going Kiri at number 8. He's done, again, if it was ranked off career, he's done amazing things in his career, but I didn't think his 2022 campaign was all that great. Obviously, injuries have really buggered up his career and kind of did bugger up 2022 for him. So that's probably why he gets pushed down a little bit lower. But look, I think Luke Keary is an absolute gun of a player, and he'll definitely be making his way back up the ladder. All right, next up, I'm going Tommy Dearden. And again, you guys might think this is way too low, but I tell you what, he's look. I think that the 6 players I've got above him all deserve to be above Tommy Dearden. He is an absolute gun of a player, and it hurts me to have him all the way down at bloody 7th spot. But I don't think I can put him any higher, to be honest. Like, I might look at this list at the end and change some things up, but I doubt it. I'm pretty set in what I envision here with my top 10. All right, next up. This one hurts me to do because as a Rabbitohs fan, I love him. He's an absolute gun of a player. He's such a brilliant player. It's Cody Walker. I'm going to put him at number 6. That hurts me. I know I might actually get a few people back hit back about this, and maybe not even Rabbitohs fans, maybe just fans in general. Like, I think Cody Walker could be a top 4, 5, 8. I just think that the 5 players that I've got above him had a better season last year. Career-wise, he probably should be higher than this, but this is my opinion, and while it hurts me to do so, because as most of you would know, I'm a huge Rabbitohs fan, but I don't want to look biased, and I think Cody Walker in number 6, ironically, that is his number, is fine. I think that's a good pick, because I just think the 5 listed above him are better. All right, next up at number 5, I've got Jack Whiten. Jack had an outstanding 2022 campaign. I thought he played extremely well. Yeah, look, there's not too much more I could say on there. You could switch these two over, and I actually might do that at the end. I don't know yet, but I just think, I think Jack's more of a versatile player than Cody. Cody does, does the things he needs arguably better than anybody else. But Jack, if a forward needs replacing, Jack can cover that. And I just think that he's just got a bit more in his bag of tricks than Cody does. But look, I guess we're just basing this off pure. I've got to put. I'm moving Cody to 5. I know this probably seems biased now, but I think that's the right thing to do. If we're basing it purely on the fact that they're a 5'8" and not playing in other positions, then I definitely think Cody Walker is a better player than Jack White. So I'm gonna leave it at that now. We're gonna move forward. Number 4, I've got Jarome Luai. Panthers fans, come at me. I know you guys are going to be like, man, you're crazy thinking these 3 below are better than Jarome Luai. I personally think they are. Honestly, like, Jarome, in my mind, does get carried a bit by, Isaiah Yeo, Nathan Cleary, Apso Coruscant. Like, I think we're going to see he could come out and prove me absolutely wrong, and I'd be happy for him to do that. But I still think top 4 is really good for him. But I can't rank him any higher, unfortunately, because I think the 3 below him had a better season. Number 3, I've got Matty Burton. And now this one is arguably probably the biggest call I've made of the day. I know if you're not a Doggies fan, you're probably going to come at me and say this is a terrible list. Matt Burton should not be number 3. I highly disagree. I think he's a weapon of a player. He's strong. He creates something out of nothing. His kicking game is amazing. I do think he's more of a complete package than Jarome Luai is. He's also got a cooler head than Luai. Luai can give away stupid penalties sometimes. I just think that Matt Burton can be a future leader, whereas I don't see Jarome Luai as a future leader. And I think that in itself makes him, puts him higher on this list. Again, just my opinion. I know I'm going to get a bit of backlash from that, but that is my opinion, guys. Next up, I've got Dylan Brown, number 2. Outstanding season. I personally thought he was Parramatta's best player last year. I know people are going to say no, Isaiah Papali'i was, or Clint Gutherson was, or Mitch Moses was, but I disagree. I think Dylan Brown was outstanding and deserves to be number 2 on the list, which means number 1 is Cam Munster. I think this is the right positioning for Munster. Absolutely. I think he's a top 3 player in the NRL, not just a 5'8", but a player in the NRL. And I think he'll go down as one of the best 5'8s we have ever seen in the game. Again, could be a bold take, but I honestly do see that he's just, if he's got an organising half with him, well, I suppose Jarome Luai is not really that much of an organiser, but they just work so well together, and we saw him and Cleary just gel so well for Australia. I think Cameron Munster is definitely the best 5'8" in the game by far. So that is my take there, guys. And I don't think I'm going to make any other changes. I'm pretty happy with the list. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear from you in the comments, guys. But that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you all so much for tuning in once again. And as always, my friends, I'll see you in the next one. Also, let me know what you want me to see ranked next. Drop it down in the comments below, guys. Thank you all once again. I'll see you next one. Thanks, guys.